Today on DNVR Buffs Live, Jehiem Oatis enters the transfer portal. What are the lessons Coach Prime in Colorado learned over the last year when it comes to recruiting? We're going to enter the quarterback carousel. A lot of high-profile names entered the portal last few days. We're going to predict their next landing spots. We have a Heisman Trophy winner, Shedeur Sanders, and much more. Let's go.
Squad!
Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by Front Range Toyota Stores. It is DNVR Buffs Live on a Victory Monday. Feeling fantastic.
Victory Monday. Who won?
You won too, bro.
Show did.
How you feeling?
About what? Life in general?
Life,
or what?
brother.
Life?
Yes. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Man, life, bro. I feel motivated, bro.
Explain?
Why do I have to explain why I feel motivated? I woke up this morning. I was given another opportunity to wake up, go chase my dreams, and get after it, and be around my people, be around FDP, be around the Schwan man. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Let's go. It's Monday. It's a new week, man. Christmas is a new week. 2026 is around the corner.
Yep.
Let's do it, bro. How are you feeling?
Oh, yeah. I feel amazing. It's just incredible. I mean, this gift that life presents us with every single day, to be here with SDP, FDP. Oh, man. We're just living the dream. You know what I mean?
What more could you really ask for, bro?
For sure.
What more could you really ask for? When you said you're feeling incredible, you know that made me think about the song Incredible by Future. Incredible.
You're not going to get me singing. No, you're not going to get me singing. No. Hey, shout out to Wes Irwin, who says, I'm ready for the best CU Buffs podcast in the world. That's our guy. Hell yeah.
Let's go, Wes.
Shout out to him. Today on the show, we will discuss Shedeur Sanders and your Bears really just putting the hurt down on them.
Yeah.
In the freezing cold. Fernando Mendoza has won the Heisman Trophy. We'll talk about that. And Diego Pavia giving the middle finger to everyone over the weekend. And then we're going to hop on the QB carousel. Multiple high-profile quarterbacks announced their intentions today. We're going to play a little game. Predict where they could possibly end up.
Ooh. There's been a lot of movement today. That carousel is jumping.
It's turning. It's going so fast, it's just a blur.
For real.
Lessons learned from the portal we will get to. And we'll talk about Jehiem Oatis entering the portal to start it all off. That news came through this morning. Clearly, I mean, a disappointment. I mean, I don't even know if there's any other way around it. You went into the portal. He was one of the first gets you got last year. Definitely one of the most high-profile gets.
Yeah.
Out of the portal. We really expected him to come along and potentially be a block bully or one of those types of players who made an impact on the defensive line in 2024. That was not the case, however, and he is now entering the portal. We, of course, wish him the best. This is a guy who had multiple surgeries, I think 3 or 4 surgeries.
Yeah.
In between him leaving Alabama and coming to Colorado, he's dealt with a lot of injuries, and we'll see if he's able to produce anything better at his next stop. Wish him the best.
Yeah, I mean, it was a disappointment for sure. His tenure in Colorado. I remember when he committed to Colorado pretty soon after the portal window opened, the winter portal opened. Yeah, right around a year ago for sure. Mm-hmm. He was one of the first entries, and I remember at the time ESPN had him, Jehiem Oatis, as their #1 ranked defensive transfer in the portal at the time. And obviously that was mainly due to, what he had done, particularly, I believe, as a redshirt freshman at Alabama a few years ago. I think that was back in 2022 2022.
The last Saban year he played.
Yeah, I believe that's 2022, and then obviously his next 2 years at Alabama were just marred by injuries.
Yep.
And not really seeing the field much due to those injuries. But this is disappointing, right? We had high hopes for him coming in, helping plug this defensive line, the interior of it at the beginning, and he just never really got his footing here.
Yep.
I remember before the season, even during fall camp, when Gilly the Kid was here, with the big hat on and whatnot, and he said that Gilly the Kid said that one of the Colorado coaches told him that Jehiem was one of the most talented dudes out there, but it was just kind of a lack of give a F. You know what I'm saying? Like really wanting it. And I think that's kind of what you see a lot of the times with dudes, particularly nowadays in the portal. When you got the bag, when you get the bag for signing on the dotted line before you even really do much. And again, this is not to disparage Jehiem Oatis' his name or anything like that. We wish him nothing but the best. He was a good kid and good young man from the interactions we had with him. Yeah. But this is kind of just what happens sometimes, particularly, like I said, with this new era of money being thrown at these young men. Again, before sometimes you even have to go out and prove that you're worth it or go out and earn it. But it's disappointment. He played the fourth, I believe, most snaps among defensive linemen on Colorado this year. Didn't really get into a groove until about Utah, which is obviously week 9 of the season. So even before then, he wasn't really playing much or in the rotation much. So this certainly isn't a big loss for Colorado because you didn't get much production from him to begin with. But I think there's some lessons learned potentially from this signing. Maybe we get into that now.
Sure. So he ends his tenure here at Colorado, played in 11 games, only 9 total tackles, 1 pass blown up, pass defense, I should say. But let's talk about it. Clearly, Coach Prime has talked about it pretty as candidly as he can, publicly, right?
Right.
Talking about we just missed on some guys in the portal. And, of course, he's never going to name guys by name. And we're not trying to do that here either. But there are a few portal additions that you were really counting on this year at big positions of need, at quarterback, at defensive line, at corner.
Yeah.
That just really didn't come through for you. And, again, this doesn't fall on Jehiem, especially when you talk about the defensive line for this year, because a lot of things went wrong in defensive line, injuries, guys you brought in not being up to snuff. And there's a lot of ways you can go here. We can just go straight to what the chat's talking about, the big school route. And I do think, first off, first lesson is when these are all case-by-case basis in the portal, right? I think that's something we need to drill home and really say before we get into this, because this is not a one-size-fits-all thing when it comes to the transfer portal. Sometimes some of the best guys coming into the transfer portal do end up being some of the best players that go to their new teams. But when it comes to big schools and, when you look at the history and clearly he had a drop in production, new coaching staff came in, didn't really seem like the best fit when DeBoer and those guys showed up in Alabama. And then the injuries start mounting up. It's just too many red flags. And you just got, at that point, you got to weigh risk versus potential, right?
Yeah.
And if there's too many red flags, too many things that you're already being a little hesitant about, and you keep on thinking, well, if it does work out, as opposed to, well, this is the reality of it.
Yeah.
This could be the situation more often than not.
For sure. I think it's interesting because now Coach Prime has a solid sample size of what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
As he now enters year 3, right?
4.
Year 4 of his tenure here at Colorado, which is crazy to think about. Like, that's not a small sample size anymore. You've now had what's going to be about your 4th now transfer portal haul coming into Colorado. And there are plenty of success stories, and there are plenty of stories that didn't go the way you wanted them to. And I think you have to just start really paying attention to what has worked.
Yeah.
And I think the number of guys that you have brought up a level from whether that be the G5, FCS, I truly believe that there are more success stories with those type of guys than these guys coming from Power 4, more specifically coming from the SEC. Because I'm trying to rack my brain of like guys of that coming from that pedigree, coming to the SEC, who came to Colorado and were productive. The only guy who immediately comes to mind, we can talk about this open conversation, but only guy who immediately comes to mind for somebody who came from that and immediately made an impact is Will Shepherd, coming from Vandy.
I mean, in terms of being like a high-profile guy leaving SEC, coming to Colorado,
doesn't even have to be a high-profile guy, just coming from SEC, right?
They've had, like Arden came from Mizzou. Like, there's some.
See, I would even put Arden and Amari, who also came from the SEC, in a different bucket, because I would argue that they were kind of developed at Colorado.
I mean, that's true.
Right?
That's very true.
Arden's obviously spent multiple years here, and so did Amari. But like I said, I think Will is maybe the only one, but there are plenty of success stories, and I'm not even going to go the Shedeur, Travis, Jackson State route.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the Tawfiq Byards and the LeJante Westers, and I could go on with some other ones, but Xavier Hill, guys like that. Colton Hood potentially as well. Well, I guess that's kind of the opposite, but that's kind of what you were talking about. Like, it's not one size fits all.
Yes.
But I think there are more evidence of guys coming up a level, because most of the time, like, you turn on the tape and you're like, oh, this guy sticks out amongst guys that he's probably better than. Like, and a lot of those guys are coming up hungry and coming up hungry to prove that, I belong at this level. And it makes me think back when the Syracuse head coach Fran Brown was talking recently about not wanting to like swap spit, not wanting to like swap backups and twos with other elite programs. Like, no, you kind of more so want the guys that are coming up, because if you're an SEC guy, a Big Ten guy, and you're leaving, it's probably because, and again, not one size fits all, but more times than not, it's because you weren't playing there, and it would probably behoove you to go down a level. So I think that's kind of the biggest lessons as well. And as it pertains specifically to Jehiem, try your best to avoid the guys who have an injury history.
Yes. Try
Try your best to do that. And again, some guys have injuries, and they can bounce back from them. We see it all the time. But particularly injury history, multiple surgeries, and, again, Oatis' case, like that type of stuff. Again, when you're splitting hairs, if you're trying to decide, we want to go after this guy or this guy in the portal, all that stuff should be taken into consideration. So, and guys, somebody mentioned Nikai Hill-Green as well. I would put him in the bucket of coming up a level, right? Obviously, he started at Michigan, but I even remember when he transferred to Colorado from Charlotte.
Yes.
People were like, Charlotte, what is this Charlotte linebacker going to do for us?
Yes.
And now look at him, in the college football playoff is a big part of that Alabama defense. So that's my biggest takeaways.
It's fair. Someone mentioned Makari Vickers, but like he didn't even really play at Oklahoma before he came over to Colorado, clearly. Everyone else who I would have thought of, like Xavier Hill, he even transferred down to Memphis.
Right. Yep.
From LSU initially. Someone did mention Jordan Dominic. I think that's a decent one, but again, that's kind of the first year when you were in a unique situation where you were literally rebuilding the roster through the portal, and you just needed any guy with starting experience to come in, at those important positions along the edge. So, but it's a good point.
I think of JoJo as well. Same kind of idea coming up from Tulsa.
Absolutely. Keaton Wade, I mean, he's maybe the only one who was at Kentucky and then played a little bit, I think. Or maybe he's the one who was hurt, I think, coming in.
No, I think he played a little bit at Kentucky. He had a little bit of production.
Either way, what you're saying about, trying to recruit up, I mean, that's why Willie Fritz, my guy.
Yeah.
That's how he turned Tulane into a power. That's how he then left Tulane to Houston. He did bring some guys from Tulane with him, and he was kind of transferring them up with that. But
for sure,
AJ Halsey, he started his career at UNM, I believe, in New Mexico.
I didn't know that. He's a dog.
Didn't he go to Houston, and then he ends up at LSU? Like, it's a lot of Diego Pavia, a guy who we're going to talk about later today. He starts at New Mexico State. I think he started at JUCO.
Definitely.
And then he works his way all the way up to Vandy, right?
For sure.
Not going to go case by case by a lot of these guys, but I think that's just, it comes down to scouting and recruiting. If you're able to identify this talent from a lower level and you can, find a role for it at your level and it fits in, then a lot of times it does seem like those are the more, again, case by case basis, but more often than not, those are the more common success stories out of the transfer portal.
Hell, look at Ivan Yates at the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Coming up from Furman.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably in the fan base who was an afterthought, but showed that, with some development, with the right coaching, with enough want to go along with your talent, like those guys can be developed and be players for you, no matter where they ended up coming from. And I look at DeKalen Taylor, who was on track, in my opinion, no pun intended, was on track to be a really important player on this offense and for this team. And I'm praying he comes back next year, because I think with Brennan Marion, like that's something that's going to be scary.
Yeah.
And I think Brennan Marion is going to help, I think, this recruiting staff kind of take on more of that philosophy that we're talking about, because he himself is coming up from a lower level. And I know he knows a lot of guys that he has either coached or played against at the FCS level who would be like, oh, no, that guy would fit here.
Yes.
He can play on this level. So that's another thing as well that I think Brendan Marion can hopefully help this recruiting staff kind of see more too. And again, it's a case-by-case basis. We don't expect this recruiting staff to just ignore the Power Four and the transfer portal this year and ignore the SEC, because there are ball players there. Somebody mentioned Coleman earlier, right?
Yeah.
Who was at Auburn previously. And, yeah, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? So it happens. But I think, like I said, you now have 3+ years of a sample size to know what works typically and what doesn't work typically. And I would like to see more of an emphasis on those G5 FCS guys be more targeted here in the transfer portal when it opens up in a few weeks.
No doubt. We'll wrap this thought up and a little bit more on the transfer portal on the other side of this break. Aura Frames, fellas, listen up. We have 10 days until Christmas. Do not put off your Christmas shopping.
Don't do it.
Just get, your mom, grandma, lady in your life, get them an Aura frame. One of the best gifts that you can give them.
Definitely.
We've all seen these picture frames, right? They rotate the pictures and all that stuff. Aura Frames is just leveled it up, though. Unlimited photo and video storage. You can personalize this thing with a message as well. Get it gift wrapped so it's ready to go right under the tree. And plus, it's just a heartfelt gift. What better than to share a gift of the good times in the family, friends, all that stuff. So hit them up right now, because for a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. You'll get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, when you use promo code DNVR at checkout. It's AURA frames.com, promo code DNVR. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning DNVR at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
And shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Bet365, man. What a weekend it was for all city sports teams, man. The Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears included. If you got in on the action with our friends over at Bet365 with those two teams included, you probably had yourself a solid weekend. And whether it's Monday night, whether it's Thursday night, Sunday night, Bet365 got you covered. And it is Monday Night Football. So Bet365 is giving you a 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays for tonight's Dolphins versus Steelers Monday Night Football matchup. And also, new customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up, use that code DNVR365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. They can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. So at the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, a couple more things to talk about with this. Someone, if you scroll up just a little bit more, so someone made a comment. Honor the family. I trust Coach Marion's eye for talent. And I think this is a sign of Coach Prime maybe not just learning from his mistakes. I think he's clearly learning from his mistakes and trying to do things differently this year. And that, again, this is a case for it. Brendan Marion has been damn near everywhere, right? But also, I mean, the story of the man coming up from, I believe, JUCO ranks to going crazy at Tulsa, like to now being a former head coach at Sac State, where, he really had to figure it out. And of course, he's kind of a big name when he gets hired by Sac State, and he was able to attract some really good talent, Xavier McDonald included, right? You get a 4-star to Sac State. That's pretty big, but also to win at Sac State, which is what he did. I mean, they went 7-6, they had a winning record, 7-5 either way.
Yep.
You gotta find those gems, right? You gotta recruit up, if you want to put a term on it, like we were just talking about. You got to be able to identify talent. And you got to be able to know what you're looking for. And I think just that aspect of him and what he's been through in his coaching life, and then, coming and coaching over at Texas, at some of these Power 5 schools that have serious talent where they don't really have to, find the quote unquote gems. They have 5 stars knocking at their door pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But having him in-house, I think he's going to have a lot more control in terms of the talent that he wants at specific positions. So you're going to see some turnover, I think, at wide receiver, at running back, at offensive line, potentially. because it's just a different way of playing the game than what they have been doing the last 2 years. That combined with where he's been and his coaching resume, I think you're going to clearly see a different approach in the portal this year.
I think offensively, as long as they can shore up the offensive line and add 2 to 3 starters, I'm not too worried about the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're talking about with kind of Oatis and kind of recruiting up via the portal, like I think that's more on defense. Like that's where my focus is going to be, and I think that's obviously where Coach Prime is. He's alluded to that. Most of the work on the portal is going to be done in the front 7 defensively. But we talk about it. I believe there's a real core on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously with the quarterback in place, with some receivers, and obviously a stable of running backs, your left tackle. But defensively, like that's where the wins got to be had this offseason via the transfer portal. Again, particularly in the front 7, because you like your 2 freshman edges.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, there's a lot of holes.
Yes.
And holes that have to be fixed and addressed. Not necessarily just with potential, but with legit production, with immediate guys that you think can come in immediately and be leaders for your defense.
Yep.
Because that is this defense has to be drastically improved from 2025. Because you even pull out a similar product defensively as you did in 2026. That's not going to be good for anybody.
No.
From the top down, from the bottom up, that's not going to be good for anybody. So. Like I said, with the quarterback in place, with some receivers, I agree. There's probably going to be some portal movement in and out at receiver.
Yep.
Probably at running back as well.
Yep.
But I trust Brendan Marion to know what he's looking for and to go get what he's looking for.
Yep.
So for me, my emphasis is going to be on defensive side of the ball and what they might be able to get and add via the portal.
I just want to emphasize the point that you made there at the end. I mean, I agree. Most of the work needs to be done on defense. Coach Prime straight up said that.
Yeah.
But with the new offensive coordinator, there's going to be a turnover on offense too. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'd expect that much, but
yeah,
there's going to be some names, and there's going to be guys that we counted on the last few years, and it's just the nature of a scheme shift, really, because that's what you're in the middle of right now. Offensively, is a scheme shift.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's coming.
Yes.
We haven't had a big portal entry from Colorado just yet, but it's inevitable.
Yep.
And it might be somebody that you care a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be somebody that you would be okay leaving. But either way, that's just what happens every offseason at every program. But as we're talking about defense and guys that potentially we would like Colorado to target.
Texas linebacker?
Yeah. Lee Fowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah.
But again, I'm more so looking into what we were talking about.
Exactly.
coming from down up a level. Sacramento State's first team all-conference safety just entered the portal, plans to enter the portal, announced his intention to enter the portal. Koa Akui, a fire name. 65 tackles this year, 5 picks, 2.5 tackles for loss. He was the second highest graded defender on Sac State this season. Their highest graded defender, Sac State's this season, has also already entered the portal. Defensive lineman Deshaun Watts. Those 2 guys, Sac State's 2 highest graded defenders from this season, have announced their intention to enter the portal. And I would love for Colorado to target both of them, particularly Deshaun Watts, the defensive lineman. But we've talked about safety as well. We believe in and know that Tawfiq Bayard is that guy, and he is in my opinion, he is the leader on defense.
Yep.
Maybe the leader on the team. But we would love to add a safety alongside him, right? We were talking a little bit about maybe the potentiality of Boo Carter and Tawfiq Bayard out there at safety together. But it seems like this Koa Akui guy, assuming Brendan Marion vouches, would be a really, really nice tandem at safety.
For sure. Plenty more portal stuff on the way. Clearly.
Oh, and this is he's a former walk-on.
Yeah,
turned team captain.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type. That's what you want.
That's exactly it.
That's the type of pedigree that you want, man.
We shall see. Again, we are inching closer. On Friday, we will be 2 weeks away from the portal opening, and just stay tuned. I'm sure we'll hear stuff up until then. All right. Let's talk about the quarterback carousel. We will play a little prediction game.
Hell yeah. I love games.
At least 3 today. Sorsby, Lagway, and Raiola. Massive names.
Yeah.
announcing their intention to enter the transfer portal. And we didn't even talk about Sam Levitt, who I think on Friday or Thursday last week, the same. And yeah, man, it's just it's a crazy time right now. I think if you go back and look, so what class were these guys? 2024, 2025, 2 years ago?
I think I just saw a tweet because they were like all in the Elite
11,
right?
This is like, I mean, at least Lagway and Raiola. Those are two of the top 5 or two of the best 5 stars, top rated 5 stars, not just quarterback, overall players in that recruiting class a few years ago.
So this is from your guy, Bruce Feldman.
Hell yeah, shut up, Bruce.
There were 20 quarterbacks invited to the Elite 11 in the summer of 2023, including Dylan Raiola and DJ Lagway. 13 of those 20 are either heading into the transfer portal or have already transferred.
Yep.
From 2023, 2 years later, more than half of them have either, like I said, already transferred or have announced their intention to do so. That is crazy.
Insane. It's
crazy
where we are.
Yeah. And especially, we talk about money being thrown around, and no money being thrown around more than to quarterbacks,
Absolutely.
than to talented quarterbacks.
Yeah. And you want to talk about, I mean, CU lived this life last year.
Yeah.
Bringing in Caden Salter.
Exactly right.
And boy, is that a risky strategy. Especially for guys like Lagway and Raiola, who have definitely struggled in their college careers and maybe have not developed to the point that anyone thought they would be at this point when you get a 5-star label slapped on you.
Still got paid, though.
Yeah.
Still saw millions.
It's
both
crazy.
Of them.
It's insane, man.
And that's what I'm talking about, bro. It's like, I can't relate, but I can understand if you're making millions and you're like, what? I mean, what?
The market's hopping. The market's hopping.
What do I really got to work hard for?
Yeah.
What do I really got to watch this film for? Ain't I getting paid regardless?
And like, why would I stay and fix this when I can go hop in the portal, get another $2 million at least,
and get more money and be on a better team?
Exactly, yeah, and be treated like a king again. None of the issues are on my shoulders anymore.
Exactly. I'm looking at the savior.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the savior instead of the problem.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
And that's a great point. I mean, you didn't say it directly, DeAndre, but I think who had the tweet? It was Pat Ford or someone had the tweet where it's like talking about Raiola and Lagway entering the portal, and it's like, well, we got a long way to go to be as good as the number 134 quarterback in the 2022 class in Fernando Mendoza. And it's true though.
No doubt.
Like, look at the quarterback. Diego Pavia is at the Heisman ceremony. This kid was not recruited. He went to my high school, bro. Like,
yeah, bro.
It's crazy.
You know what's really crazy, bro? Watching Diego this weekend and all the backlash on him, bro. He has completely informed my perspective on what I believe New Mexico people to be like.
We are going to definitely talk about this because this is a point I wanted to make as well.
Like, just as I was watching him talk this weekend, I'm like, oh. So
I'm glad you saw it, bro.
That's New Mexico. Got it.
I've been trying to tell people.
You have. It clicked for me this weekend. It clicked.
We'll get into it. And we'll play this game and get into the quarterback carousel on the other side of this break. And shout out to... Hold on, Melissa. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, yeah. Aiden Childs was today, too.
Aiden Childs into the portal today,
like
too. Yep. On the other side of this break, shout out to our friends over at Common Spirit Health. Everyone. I was going to shout out the fellas again, but everyone needs to listen up, man. We've had enough reminders this year when it comes to health issues. Don't be another one on the list to be another reminder for someone. Be proactive about your health.
Definitely.
Go get checked out, I should say. Also, if you've been dealing with like a nagging sports injury, related injury, they're going to be helping you out in just preventative care, not just the treatment of that injury as well at Common Spirit Health. More than just hospitals and clinics, there's a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. They got 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites right here in Colorado. So you know they're just around the corner for whatever you need, whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency. You can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and visit a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the first place mighty Denver Broncos.
Shout out to them and shout out to their squad at Monarch, man. Listen, it's the holiday season, and although that is fun, it can get stressful, right? Mm-hmm. Buying gifts, trying to, plan out travel and whatnot. You can lose sight of your money pretty easily. And that's where our friends over at Monarch come in huge, come in clutch. If you want to keep your finances under control this holiday season, you just flat out, straight up need to be using Monarch. It's rated Wall Street Journal best budgeting app of 2025. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop, on your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DNVR at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50%, Jakey, off your first year at monarch.com with that code DNVR. Shout out to Monarch. That's how I'm going to remember it. Years from now, I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, they missed it because, that happened.
All right. Let's play quarterback carousel. I have no idea which order these are in, but let's talk about it.
Let's get it.
The top 5 quarterbacks available in the portal. Who is first? Aiden Childs. Now, this was an interesting one because he was like heralded as the savior of Oregon State football a few years ago.
Yeah.
And then
I thought he was solid, honestly.
And at Oregon State, I was like, okay, I could see something from this guy.
Not perfect, obviously, but yeah.
I mean, they were getting him work as a true freshman. They had DJU that year.
Right.
And Jonathan Smith was still like insisting on putting these packages in for Aiden Childs. And again, I thought he showed some things. He was a blue chip recruit, a top 150 player in the 2023 recruiting class. Just has not panned out. I mean, there's a reason why Jonathan Smith is no longer the head coach at Michigan State as well. It just didn't work out. Pulling up the stats here. Oh, that's his brother. This year as a starting quarterback, 63% completion, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Last year, 13 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. We can try and predict this. This feels like a transfer down guy to me, though.
I'm reading. He's from Long Beach, California. So I'm just thinking a school from California.
Sure, yeah.
UCLA came to mind because I don't think Nico's going to stay there.
Okay.
But Aiden Childs played UCLA this year, and that didn't go well. So I don't think he was 8 for 17, 66 yards.
Yeah, they might be looking
They might be, right? So then that makes me think about, I was going to maybe say Cal, but they're going to keep the young bull.
They're keeping JKS.
Right.
Sagapalute, I think.
That sounds very, very accurate.
Jaron Kawhi, Sagapalute, I believe.
So I don't know. Do you have a name in mind? I'm just trying to think of other California schools. Me personally.
I mean, look, I'm just gonna throw out a school like Tulane because they keep on grabbing guys like this.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know where Jonathan Smith could potentially end up. I mean, that's a guy who really rose pretty quickly, and now all of a sudden it's like, where does he coach? I don't know. Western's had a good season. Western Michigan. Put him in the MAC. I have no idea.
That just made me think of Duke potentially.
Sure. I mean,
because as the news broke today, that Mentz is thinking about declaring for the draft, which I think he should do.
I mean, I can see this guy sticking in P4 because I think he's one of those guys that coaches look at and go, he's got the tools. I just need to get my hands on him.
For sure.
And kind of,
and he's played football. Like, he's not like raw. I mean, he's raw in terms of like his skill set, but like he's played football.
He's played in 30 games and has attempted at least 561 passes. Yeah. I'll just put Tulane in there for a name.
Yeah, give me. I'm gonna go with Duke.
I like that. Yeah, we'll see what Darian Mensah does. I mean, he carried Duke in that game a couple weeks ago against Virginia to win the ACC. Duke is the ACC champion.
Wow. And again, they gonna have money.
Yeah,
and they gonna have money to spend too.
Who we got next? Brandon Sorsby, a fascinating case. He's now the top available quarterback in the portal, by the way, at least according to 247. Would you have guessed that coming into this year?
Coming into this year, definitely
not. He had a really, really good season, actually. Really did well in terms of protecting the football.
Yeah.
27 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He also added 9 touchdowns on the ground. Wow, he had 36 touchdowns, completed 61% of his passes, averaged 5.8 yards per carry. Clearly, he's transferring up. Cincinnati was a good football team this year. They are kind of... Scott Satterfield's not going anywhere unless he takes like a Michigan job or something, you know? But I don't even think he's a candidate for those places. Let me see. I Oh, he's the one quarterback I don't have.
Bro, just look at his headshot, bro.
What about it?
Tell me that don't look like a Texas Tech quarterback, bro. Tell me that don't look like a Texas Tech quarterback.
It does. It does.
That's my pick. He's going to Tech. And according to Matt Zenitz and Chris Hummer, Texas Tech and Indiana are among the schools to have interest.
Don't let him go to Indiana.
In Brendan Sorsby. So, I think he's going to go staying in the conference, but that's certainly a step up from Cincinnati to Texas Tech.
I mean, he's the top available quarterback in the portal. Why not throw out LSU's name? I think this is a quarterback Lane could do serious damage with.
I think Lane got bigger aspirations.
Who do you think he's looking at?
It'll come up.
Okay, interesting. I'll throw out LSU.
Facts.
Why not?
Fair enough.
For real though, I think that'd be a great match for Sorsby. I think he could do just as much, if not better, than Jackson Dart did his final year at Ole Miss. Like that,
I don't believe that.
But that's the same archetype they are. Like he's a tough running. He takes care of the football as well.
Yeah. Obviously, this news broke today. Brendan Sorsby ending the portal, and Cincinnati is on Colorado's schedule next year.
Yes, they are.
Colorado goes to Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio.
As is Texas Tech, your pick.
Yeah,
Colorado schedule.
For sure. So maybe you'll see Brendan Sorsby next year anyway. But
yeah,
you just look at the teams on Colorado's 2026 schedule. Arizona State's going to have a new quarterback. Baylor's going to have a new quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati's going to have a new quarterback. Texas Tech's going to have a new quarterback. Is Wegman's done?
Oh, yeah. No, they have a 5-star coming in.
Oh, yes. Houston's going to have a new quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Avery Johnson's going to leave.
He should.
K-State's going to have a new quarterback. UCF's quarterback, Taven Jackson, is already into the portal. They're going to have a new quarterback. And then Oklahoma State's Oklahoma State. So that's it's interesting. Interesting slate.
I mean, the carousel is just getting started, too, when it comes to the quarterbacks.
Exactly.
There's going to be more. Oh, there's our guy. Well, one of the last times you'll see him in that disgusting shade of red. Maybe unless he changes it in for another. This was inevitable. Dylan Raiola is into the transfer portal. He's now going to be on his way to his 6th school in 7 years, going back to high school. All he did was transfer high schools. I think he's played at a new high school every single year.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He stuck 2 years at Nebraska, but he's seen enough. Where do you think he could possibly go? They did. Also, it's worth mentioning, Pete Nako said Texas Tech not interested. So, the Mahomes comparisons might stop here.
That is funny that you reported that. You just had to get out in front of that. Or maybe Tech had to get out in front of that. Like, we are not interested. We are not interested. Don't even start that.
Tech said, no, we're looking for good quarterbacks.
I do think this young man ends up in the Big 12 then again, bro. Or not again, but I think he ends up in the Big 12, bro. I think he's going to be Kenny Dillingham's quarterback next year.
Wow, really?
Yes, bro.
Interesting.
You remember one of the 4 high schools Dylan Raiola played at was in Arizona at Chandler High School.
Uh-huh.
And I think he's going to be at Arizona State. That'd be my guess.
Very interesting. I like that. I want to say Texas Tech, but...
And that's exactly why they got out in front of that. So people wouldn't say that. Like, nope, don't even leak us with him.
He's going to Georgia.
No way.
That's where he was committed.
I know, but
I think that's where he wanted to go play football. Then his uncle gets hired at Nebraska. He follows him there. I think he's going to Georgia.
Kirby's seen enough, bro. He's seen Dylan Raiola play college football, and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Georgia just keeps trying these guys, and because they have so much talent, they work.
Like who? Who you talking about?
I mean, go down the list. Gunnar Stockton now. I mean, I think he's done some very impressive things.
I like Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, he's nice, yeah. I don't think he's like, oh my God, top 5 quarterback in the country.
No, he's not.
Aaron Murray definitely wasn't. Jake Fromm wasn't that. Stetson Bennett definitely wasn't that. They just get these guys in there who kind of grind out games and distribute to the athletes.
I see what you're saying. Is that your pick, Georgia?
Yeah, I'm going Georgia.
I heard that.
Next. DJ Lagway. Someone did mention that Lane Kiffin keeps on reposting that stuff. I think he's still just trolling Florida, though. For what it's worth, teams mentioned for DJ Lagway, Baylor was thrown out there, which obviously would factor into Colorado. So is Baylor on the schedule for next year? Do you know?
They are not. No,
Hold up still.
They are not on the schedule.
Baylor was a team mentioned. LSU obviously mentioned. Miami, another team mentioned. A team that is also going to be in the, I don't know, I was going to say blue chip or elite. I don't even know if you'd say that for transfer portal. The top of the line transfer portal guys at quarterback, though. Carson Beck is going to be out of there. Apparently his dad did play at Baylor, though. Baylor's got some issues, though.
Yeah.
What's his name? Head coach, Jesus.
Dave
Aranda could be very much on the hot seat. They've lost a lot of top recruits. This is just a program that's on the verge of free fall, it feels like. But this could be a name to kind of ignite the fan base, kind of, get some excitement under Dave Aranda's watch and his regime, and maybe inject some confidence back in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to say LSU because of Lane Kiffin. Like, this seems like a quarterback who would thrive under Lane Kiffin and quarterback that Lane Kiffin would want to go after. But I do feel like him kind of already being in public about trolling probably takes him out.
Yes.
I think Oregon here.
Ooh.
Is Dante Moore?
He has a decision to make.
He has a decision to make, but he can jet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, if he wanted to. I don't know why he would.
Can you just do Oregon/LSU for me here, Alyssa? Hell yeah, that fits perfectly.
Yes, put me down as Baylor just for the excitement factor. And also, I think he kind of needs to transfer down a little bit. I just don't see, like, I don't know, just to throw names out there, Ole Miss or obviously not Florida. I don't know, any other SEC school. I mean, LSU even, like.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I feel like he's just the type of dude who wasn't done no favors at Florida. Like,
very true.
I don't think he was coached up. I don't think he was surrounded by a ton of talent.
I don't think Napier was really helping him out.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't know about he needs to go down. That's why I can see Oregon. I can see him or even staying in the SEC like LSU. How many names you got left? 2 left? 3 left?
I think just one.
Oh, okay.
This is Sam Leavitt. And he's got to be transferring up. I don't think you'd leave Kenny Dillingham and LSU if you weren't, one, either chasing a crazy bag or someone like Lane Kiffin got in his ear already.
Yeah. I saw somebody say today that if he goes to LSU, they're going to call him Vanilla Jaden Daniels. And I was dead. But no, this is going to be another slash for me. Sam Leavitt is either going to Indiana or he's going to Miami.
So, for what it's worth, Pete Nakos mentioned Oregon, Indiana, Miami, and LSU.
Yeah.
He did mention Dante Moore as well, having the decision he has to make. But sounds like Oregon could very much be bracing for that and be in the quarterback market.
I think if I had to guess, like, what he wants to do, like, he strikes me as such a Miami quarterback. But also, I could see him being like, let me just go rock with Sig and try to, be what Mendoza was this year.
I'm going to be a little judgmental and say I don't think that's his intentions.
Which one? The latter?
Of going to Indiana and gutting it out and gritting it out for Cignetti. He's got Oregon/Miami written all over him, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
This dude's going to end up being one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the country. You can put me down for Oregon if you want to put down a name. I just think that that's what he's doing. I think that he could have stayed at ASU and still gone first round and still had tons of production and
for sure. I mean, if he didn't get hurt at the end of this year, I think he would have been getting like first round buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this 2026 quarterback class is thin, and that's putting it very nicely.
And it got thinner today.
I know.
Sorsby included. I think that he was kind of being looked at as a potentially, a guy who could sneak into the first round.
Well, I think with that reporting today, they said that Sorsby is going to keep his options open in terms of declaring for the draft.
Oh, okay. So he hasn't really made a decision yet. Okay.
Correct.
You can put me down as Oregon, Alyssa.
Oh, yeah. He sure is from there, isn't he?
What?
I think he's from Oregon.
Oh, is he?
I think so.
Let me check real quick. He has a younger brother, too. That's a recruit, right?
I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't know why he would leave Kenny either. What do you think of... I think the only way I can see him leaving Kenny is if Kenny was like, hey, I might be out of here, bro. And
bro,
have you heard?
We can talk about this.
Have you heard the theory? Like, you saw him last week and he was asked about it Friday, I think.
Yeah.
And he started just like crying pretty much.
Crying. He silent for like 30 seconds. It was kind of odd.
Yeah. And like people are saying that like that's the emotion of a man who had to make a decision that he didn't want to.
Also, it came out on like Friday, like, oh, they're working on extension.
Right. Nothing. You're right. I did see that on Friday, right? You're right. You're right.
Let's take our next break, and then we can talk about a lot of this college football stuff. Shout out to our friends over at Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Man, if you're coming out here to Colorado, we've had a lot of Packers fans out here.
They went home sad.
They did. They went home very sad. They straight up took over out here, and I'm sure they had Toyotas because, you got to go and experience everything that this beautiful state has to offer, whether you're hitting the mountains or driving around the city. They got 17 models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. Not very snowy so far here in Denver, but when it comes to that, you just got to be ready, which is why you need a Toyota. Also, if you're just running around the city, they offer more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker, and they have 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
Shout out to Toyota and shout out our good friends over at Taco Bell, man. Y'all got to go check out Taco Bell's new Cantina chicken menu. Point blank period. You are in for a treat if you do so. This is a new era of chicken, and it's not the old chicken that you are used to, man. This is a new flavorful chicken. It's slow roasted, perfectly seasoned, and you can add additional premium ingredients as well. You can have that purple cabbage on there, them white corn tortilla
Pico de gallo.
shells, that pico de gallo, freshly prepared every single day. And Jake, I got some news for you, bro. I don't know if you knew this, though. The Buffs boxes have sold out, brother.
It's done. No.
The Buffs boxes have sold out. But here's the cool part, man. Your local Colorado Taco Bells want to hear from you, want to hear from the fans. Which student athletes would you like to see featured on the Collector Cups for the 2026 football season? I got a couple names in mind, but put your comments in the chat and let us know who you think deserves to be featured next year. Shout out to Taco Bell because Buffs love the bell.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about college football in general. We'll talk about Shedeur a little bit too, but the Kenny stuff's weird right now.
He just strikes me as Michigan's next head coach, bro.
He'd be such a great fit there. Good Lord. Bryce would cook.
Yeah, man. That's just what it seems like. And that theory makes sense to me, too, because it's like, why was he so overcome with emotion by that? And it's like, yeah, you can say, like, well, yeah, it's just because Arizona State means a lot to him. He was born there. But it's like,
that was like reflecting.
He's been asked that question a lot. And the question straight up, if I'm not mistaken, was just like, why ASU? Yeah. Like, why are you staying?
Mm-hmm.
And then bro must have thought that, like, wow, I'm not staying.
Well, then, what's his name? Liam Blutman, I think, the Barstool
right. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Intel guy. Uh-huh. He threw out there that he thinks Kyle Whittingham is not done coaching.
Well, I mean, that's just been reported.
For sure. But he also mentioned, I think, Michigan directly.
You would hate that, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I would. I think he'd be a great fit. If anything, Michigan needs a guy right now to stabilize the program, to say, here are our values, this is what we do, and these are the type of players we're looking for, this is what we want out of them, and this is what we're going to do on Saturdays.
Okay.
They're investigating the athletic department right now, so there's larger issues at play. Give me someone who's done it for 20-plus years, who can kind of just manage the football team.
That's fair.
And even if it is 2-3 years max, at least you don't have to worry about that for that time while you can stabilize the entire athletic department.
That's just my only issue is like, I like Kyle Whittingham. Obviously, I think he's a really good coach. I think he's one of the best college football coaches that's been coached since I've been alive.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be the only thing. It's like you hire him, you're back doing this again in 2 to 3 years, looking for a new coach.
True.
Because he is up there. He is, from what we have gleaned, like part of the reason he's even stepping down from Utah is just because I've been doing this for a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm getting up there. He's definitely 70 plus.
He's getting there.
And I just don't, especially in college football. I would say that for the NFL with older guys, but particularly with young guys in college,
Yeah.
I would definitely try to skew younger for my head coach if I could help it.
I mean, maybe the private equity thing's playing a role
No,
too. He
for sure.
probably got sick of that or didn't want to have anything to deal with that at Utah.
But why? What would make him not like that? Ain't that just straight up more money for him in his program, right?
Yeah, I think for right now. But I mean, as if whenever private equity gets involved, it comes to turning in a profit, you know? And I don't think he just wants to deal with that. I think we're seeing a lot of these guys, Saban included, just like this old wave of like coaches kind of, obviously they don't want to deal with all this, for lack of a better term, bullshit that's going on in college football right now.
Yeah. So Mars, yeah, Whittingham stepped down, but it was reported last week when he stepped down that he's not done coaching.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Congratulations to Fernando Mendoza for winning the Heisman Trophy. But really the story this weekend is Diego Pavia. What'd you learn about Diego Pavia and those New Mexicans, bro?
He two-turned. For real, like you have been telling me, bro, like, bro, he's just the most New Mexico dude I've ever seen. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what that means. I've never met nobody from New Mexico before I met you. So I just don't straight up know what that means. But as I've gotten to see more and more of Diego Pavia, heard him talk, see what he posts on social media, I'm like, I see. And I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't really know how to say this. I have a soft spot for people like that because I don't know. I don't know if I see a little bit of myself in people like that or I just see people who I know or grew up with or are friends
it's
with.
It's giving these vibes,
like
so you definitely fit in, bro.
Like I said, I have a soft spot for people like that, but it's just been crazy watching social media turn on him this weekend, bro.
It is wild.
Like, people really care in the negative about Diego Pavia and how he handled this whole weekend.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like I said, people from like that I grew up with, it's like, bro, they are who they are, bro. Product of their environment. My favorite rapper, G Herbo, said a long time ago, I'm a product of my environment. And the more I grow up, the more I meet people, the more I realize how real that is.
Yep.
And how often people are just straight up a product of who they grew around and where they grew up at.
Yes.
And
Very
certainly the
much so.
case for Diego Pavia and many people from the great state of New Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, look, Diego was unrecruited out of New Mexico, right? Turned his back on the quote-unquote flagship program there in UNM. They didn't even look at him. He goes to NMSU, balls out, and all of a sudden he's gifted with this opportunity to go to Vanderbilt, which, I mean, I'm sure he thought of when that happened, like, oh, I get to go play SEC football. Like, I'm going to go show them, like, what a real, like, SEC quarterback looks like. That's just the New Mexico mentality, bro. Like, counted out, doubted from the beginning. Like,
and he went to, like, the underdog of the SEC, too.
Exactly,
in
yes.
Vanderbilt.
So if you have a guy coming from New Mexico, not even playing for the quote-unquote flagship university there, going to the most underdog program that there possibly is in the SEC, and you allow him, you invite him to New York?
You thought he wouldn't go act
what
up?
you asked for, bro. What are you talking about? So these people that are getting in their feelings about it, it's like, whatever. Like,
bro, there was one clip, you probably saw this too, where this was, I think, Friday night or maybe even Thursday night, a night or two before the Heisman ceremony. And the finalists, Mendoza, Pavia, Jeremiah, and Sayin, they walk in this room in New York to like meet like some Heisman, like, I don't know, like Heisman people.
Yeah.
And like Mendoza goes first, like he shakes the dude's hand. And then Pavia goes in and shakes the same dude, but like he dabs him up and like does like the half bro hug.
Yeah.
And people were pissed about that, bro. They're like, bro, why can't he just shake his hand like a grown man? Like, I'm like, bro, who do y'all think this man is?
Exactly.
Again, a product of his environment, bro. He go dab up anybody who
Yes,
he meets, bro. Like, what are y'all even talking about, bro? It was just funny, bro.
All that I saw and needed to know last week was Coach Prime giving him the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Coach Prime gets it.
It's Exactly. He does.
He does.
He's grown up around a lot. He's interacting with a lot of people like that.
He's like that.
It don't make you a bad person.
Not at all.
It make you different.
Yes. And that's the thing. People, like, when you, I don't know, man. There's something about us people who end up in places we're not supposed to be. Maybe places that, we did earn opportunities, but, that little New Mexican still comes out every now and then where you just want to fight someone and you take everything said against you as disrespect. Like, I'm sorry. It's just how it is out there.
Facts. That was lit, though. It's crazy, though, because, I mean, what's going to happen to him?
I mean, look, we saw it last year with Shedeur. He's going down that route right now.
But it's like, I don't even know if that's comparable at all.
I don't think so either. I don't think he's even close to the prospect that
That's
Shedeur
what I'm saying.
was.
Like, I was thinking, like, was this the last weekend as a sports world we talked about Diego Pavia?
It could be, but just that mentality and everything. He's not going to quit, bro.
Nah, for sure. I'm sure he want to keep playing. And
We'll see him, I'm sure, same like we saw Shedeur, on a podium at the NFL scouting combine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Still talking his mess, and people are going to be getting angry about it. I guarantee you that's going to be happening. And whether he gets drafted or not, he's going to be turned into a meme for better or worse. And that's just what it's going to be.
Hey, whoever was the first one in the chat, bro, to call this man
Wani.
Hey, you insane for that, gang. That is so wild.
Insane. Oh my gosh. All right. Shedeur Sanders. Not a good performance. The Browns suck.
Yeah.
Get Stefanski out of there tomorrow. I really don't have much to say. I was at the Broncos tailgate, truthfully, so I didn't see too much of it.
Right.
But I saw the score every now and then, and that was enough.
Yeah, it never was really close. I think there was a point where it was 14-3, Bears were up. Mm-hmm. And then, honestly, Shedeur threw an interception. It was, in my opinion, it was a great play by Chicago Bears linebacker, last name Jackson, DeMarco Jackson, I believe is his name. Kind of just tipped it. It was like kind of like a RPO. He had Fannin on kind of an inside slant and tried to just bang it to him. Mm-hmm. The linebacker tipped it up and tipped it to himself and kind of picked it. That was obviously one of 3 interceptions by Shedeur yesterday. And I talked about it last week, right? This Bears defense looked better on yesterday than they are really, but like they're a defense that can give up yards, which we saw in some spurts, but they take the ball away. They lead the league in takeaways for a reason.
Yep.
And we saw that yesterday. One of them obviously was a great assist by Jerry Jeudy. I'm sure you saw that play.
Of course I did.
I mean, you can't really throw a ball any better than that. That has to be the best thrown ball that was intercepted this season.
It's so
you know
over for Jerry Jeudy.
Isaiah Bond looks better anyway, in my opinion, as a rookie.
Absolutely.
Fannin was targeted him and Shedeur and Fannin they locked in. I mean, I think he targeted him 14 times yesterday. I think a couple of them, like I said, were the interceptions. So that's something he maybe has to reel in a little bit. But Chicago goes down, scores first drive of the game. I think they ended up getting Cleveland. I think Shedeur's first 2 drives, like, they're backed up against their own end zone. Mm-hmm. Particularly the first one, for sure, where they're like literally standing. He's standing in his own end zone to start his own drive.
The team logo.
With the Chicago Bears crowd just going stupid in his ear.
Yeah.
It was one of those games that never really got started for Cleveland. And obviously, I'm sure everybody has heard about the whole wristband thing.
Ridiculous. I don't care what happened. You're a pro organization, bro. Figure it out.
Yeah, apparently, I think Stefanski and Shedeur both said that, like, it was fine for the first drive, but during that, one of them like fell out. Mm-hmm. So like didn't nobody notice it. So when he went out for the second drive, he's looking for the call and like there's no sheeting in there.
Crazy.
So it's crazy, but obviously not ideal. But he's gonna get another opportunity, and there will be lessons learned from this.
Yep,
there'll be lessons learned from this.
Totally. Browns clearly need some work as well.
Let's not forget either that he played without 4 of his starting 5 offensive linemen.
Yes.
And that was evident watching the game because the Bears, I've been watching the Bears all season. They don't got no pass rush for real.
Yeah.
They had a pass rush yesterday. And again, it wasn't due to all the time, at least Shedeur hanging onto the football like a lot of people like to accuse him. Mm-hmm. There was legitimately pressure on him from the opening snap that is mostly due to Cleveland's inability to protect the passer and them having just straight up backups.
Yeah.
And they're protecting Shedeur. So that was probably the worst game that I've seen Judkins play this year as well. But again, you can also attribute that to
offensive line.
So he'll get another opportunity, and I'm excited to see what he does with it.
For sure. Congrats to you and the NFL Films Caleb highlight that you now get to watch the rest of your life. That's amazing. Happy for you.
When are we going to say how close we are to tracking towards a Bears-Broncos Super Bowl?
Let's talk about it.
We're tracking that way, man. Because, I mean, real spill. I said to you last week, Packers were my pick.
Yeah.
Out of the NFC.
Yeah.
And that's me as a Bears fan saying that.
Sure.
They just lost their best player.
Yep.
And in my opinion, their best receiver just got hurt as well. We'll see what his status is. He looks to be all right. He'll probably return, but
they got Jaden Reed back too.
He looked good.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the NFC is wide open, and certainly y'all look like the best team in the AFC.
Look like the best team in the damn NFL, bro. Get it right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Now, we can talk about it, though. All right, the final whistle. What's up with the coaching staff? Why does Coach Prime take so long to hire new coaches? I'm watching Florida coach every day, new hire. Florida is building a coaching staff from the ground up, though. That's the thing. Coach Prime is definitely making changes, and changes have been made, I think, that are not public yet either as well. That some changes have been made that even we don't know about yet. One, it's just how Coach Prime operates, and two, it's just these are fine touches, right? Like you're not scrapping everything and rebuilding. Like you need to identify exactly why a certain guy didn't work in a role last year, despite whatever credentials he may have or may not have, and figure out and what type of person you need and who you need in those roles. I think it's very different. Like you're painting with a very fine brush as opposed to like a roller in Florida, right? Where they're redoing everything.
So I mentioned the Rams. Devontae Adams just hurt his hamstring yesterday, so that could potentially be a problem. They're a great team, though.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jake. Do you remember during the Coach Prime era at Colorado where we got a notification this coach has been fired? This coach has been let go.
The only one I can think of is Sean Lewis in season.
And that was not really a firing.
No, it was a demotion.
Coach Prime just don't do that. And a lot of people want, like, I want this coach gone.
They want blood.
And that's just not going to happen. Yes. Coach Prime doesn't operate that way.
No.
So that's just what it is. Like, you want new people, and he's working on that. But until he can find, I think, a way to amicably go around the situation, move somebody out, move somebody in, that's when we'll find out. Like I said, a lot of people want the fired thing. Mm-hmm. They want the fired graphic.
Exactly.
And it's just, Coach Prime not about that.
Yep.
He's just not about that. So
no, it's a great point. I mean, look, how much have we talked about him wanting to promote and advance his coaching staff? Like, even when things don't work out, he's not going to be the one to, parade someone through the streets as an example. Like,
see, I did something. See, look.
Yeah, like he's not about trying to shame his guys, which is why we didn't see any Pat Shurmur moves, even though it was very under the radar. And it's why he says, things have happened that y'all haven't even picked up on yet and stuff.
Sure.
Like,
for sure.
It's just how he operates. So, all right, 2 super chats. Don Peasy, how many head coaches will MSU be paying with the new hire? At least 3, right? Wow. Crazy. Maybe they're paying D'Antonio too. 4. Don Peasy again. Raiola will probably be at ASU. 2 of 4 high schools were here in Arizona, Chandler and Pinnacle before moving to Georgia. Yep. Lagway to FSU. That's an interesting one. Get him and Gus Malzahn. Might be scary. Another good point. Don Peasy, always on point as well. Peasy. Alrighty, chat. We'll be out of here. RK will be back tomorrow, and we'll have another fun show ready for y'all. See you then. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.